being in New York and
Good morning.
just after the September the 11th attacks, and you were being praised for your calm leadership, your cool head in the wake of what had happened. You were even dubbed at one stage America's mayor. What do you make of President Trump's response? Because he has been criticised for not being able to calm the situation down.
President Trump is criticized for everything by the left-wing media. He has handled it exactly correctly. Immediately, he brought the FBI into it. President Obama used to delay weeks before he brought the FBI into it. President Obama had many, many more of these incidents than President Trump. The difference is that the left-wing media, including the international media, treats President Trump in a totally different way and exaggerates all the situations involving him. He expressed immediately his horror at what happened. He brought the FBI into it. He, along with everyone in this country, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, condemns what the police officer did. For example, I don't believe they've been charged harshly enough. I think the Minnesota authorities and Minneapolis authorities have badly mishandled this case, and they should be charged with first-degree murder, particularly the police officer who had his knee on the neck of Mr. Floyd while he was being told constantly that the man couldn't breathe. I was a prosecutor for 17 years of my life.
Yes.
And I prosecuted over 70 police officers. And I believe that the mayor, the governor, and the authorities in Minneapolis have badly mishandled this case.
Well, that's fair enough, and I'm sure that many people will agree with you. But my point was about President Trump rather than your view of it. For instance, shortly after what had happened and then the protests, he had tweeted using a phrase that a bigoted police chief had used decades ago: "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." Now. Right. Many people think that that was a totally inappropriate way to calm down protest when that's almost a threat of violence that even Twitter took action over.
Of course it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. That's part of what you do. That's part of how you deliberately misinterpret President Trump, because the left-wing media has some kind of a hatred of him that's actually pathological.
Rudy,
it's Piers Morgan here.
That's true, and the reality is, whoever made that statement, the statement can mean a lot of different things.
No, it was a Miami police chief who said that he didn't care about accusations of police brutality. He was a bigoted person himself. Why would President Trump quote something like that when he's trying to calm the situation down?
He didn't quote him. He used that expression, probably not knowing where it came from. The reality is that this became out of control because the mayor of Minneapolis, who is a left-wing progressive Democrat, failed to protect the citizens of his city from riots.
Yeah, but Rudy, can I jump in?
Not only that, he gave...
Rudy, can I jump in? It's Piers Morgan here, first of all.
Let me finish.
Well, it's Piers. I want to say hello first.
I'm up here at 1 o'clock in the morning to answer your questions.
Yeah, Rudy.
So I would think you'd give me the courtesy of answering.
Rudy.
I know you don't like my answers, but I think you'd give me the courtesy of giving them. You have a completely warped picture of what happened, which is not atypical.
Rudy, can you hear me?
I mean, this is constantly what is being done to President Trump by the left-wing media.
All right, Rudy.
He has handled this really superbly.
Okay, Rudy.
Many fewer incidents than President Obama.
Can you hear me, Rudy? It's Piers Morgan.
I can hear you interrupting me, sure.
Okay. Well, A, it's good to talk to you again. It's been a while. Secondly, I'm sorry.
It's nice to talk to you, but I really do want to answer.
Rudy, I'm sorry, but you're talking total claptrap. Sorry.
No, I'm not, Piers.
Yeah, you are.
Absolutely not.
You are. With respect,
you
keep saying it's the left-wing media that have somehow misquoted Donald Trump. The President of the United States' job when this kind of thing happens is to keep temperatures down, not to put fuel on the fire. For the President of the United States to tweet that when the looting starts, the shooting starts, directly quoting a racist police chief back in the 60s who used dogs and guns on black people.
So do you think he went to a book and took that out of a book?
I don't care, Rudy.
Knowing it came
I don't care if he did. I don't care if he knew where it came from or not.
Of course he didn't.
He was quoting.
That's a media creation.
He was quoting an infamous line, and he was quoting an infamous line.
How you people have become political propagandists.
Who are you
rather
people?
Than journalists.
Who are you
You
people?
gave up being journalists years ago.
I've known Donald Trump. I've known Donald Trump 13 years. I've been very fair-minded about him, as I'm sure you're aware.
You really
I've interviewed him.
Piers.
I've interviewed him many, many, many times, and I have found his.
If you're trying to sell people that he deliberately quoted some racist, then you are engaging in absolute lying and deception.
I'm telling you, you shouldn't give him a pass. Why are you giving him a pass?
Why do I give him a pass?
Why do you say he didn't know where that quote came from? How do you know that?
Because I know him for 30 years, and I know he's a fair man who doesn't have a racist bone in his body. You know that too. And therefore, you're going through politically correct propaganda so you can be popular.
No, I heard the president. No, I heard the president use the phrase, when the looting starts...
You know he's not a racist.
Can I finish? Can you let me finish?
Well, ask a question and I'll answer it.
Right.
But then don't interrupt me.
If you just stop talking for a minute, I'll tell you what my question is.
Did you want me on here to answer questions? Or did you want me on here so you could make a political propaganda
Well, actually,
point?
the only person making political propaganda statements is you so far.
I haven't made any political propaganda statements.
You said the whole thing is a left-wing myth. Everyone's got it in for poor old Donald Trump. And I'm telling you that when this thing started, the president's job was to calm things down. Instead, he said, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. And from the moment he said that, there's been total carnage on the streets of America.
That happens to be true.
Huh?
That happens to be an accurate statement.
And you think that's a sensible thing, do you? A sensible thing for the president to do.
Do you know, and did you report that a police officer was killed, assassinated last night?
Yeah, I think what's been going on in these riots, I think what's been going on...
Did you report that?
No, but I'm asking you...
Doesn't that make the point that when the looting starts, the shooting starts? I don't care who said that.
So you stand...
I have prevented numerous riots in my career. That is an accurate statement.
And you know where that quote comes from.
That if you continue to loot, you are going to bring about violence.
So you think it's right?
Hundreds of police officers in the hospital.
All right. So you think it's right, if I may jump in?
They killed a man yesterday. The president was warning them, if you loot, you are going to provoke violence. He may have picked a quote that comes 30 years ago from some nutty, horrible racist, but that is not what he did on purpose. That's what you attributed to him because you're prejudiced against him. And because what you're
Why would any president say that?
The kind of journalism you
Why would any... Oh, stop banging on about left-wing journalism, Rudy. Rudy,
in the country.
Stop banging on about the left-wing... I'm not the left-wing media. I've written more fairly about President Trump than anybody.
False and defamatory.
When the president says, when the looting...
And you're not allowing me to explain it because I have to talk over you.
Now, you know what? You're talking over me all the time.
Well, you're darn right I am because you're lying to people. Piers.
I'm not lying. I'm quoting directly what the president said.
That was not deliberately taken from a racist. That is an accurate statement. When people begin looting, they provoke violence. The proof is the people who have been killed here by the rioters, not by the police. And by the way, there were only 9 people, 9 black people, unarmed, that were killed by the police last year in America. There were hundreds of times more than that. Black people killed by other black people that the police have to prevent, including black police officers like Captain Dorn, who was slaughtered last night, and it was ignored by the left-wing media.
There you go again, the left-wing media. Why don't we get back?
The police officer was hardly covered in the Times.
Why don't you get back, Rudy?
Post.
Why don't we get back?
I bet you didn't cover it. You want to bet you didn't cover it?
Why don't we get back?
Because it goes against your false narrative.
No, you know what we covered. You know what we covered.
Which you exaggerate.
You know what we've. If you let me finish, I would say that the deaths of anybody in these protests and some of the rioting that's gone on is completely unacceptable. I don't care if you're left, right, whatever you are, whatever political persuasion, it is wrong.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It is wrong,
now.
but I do know that when the President of the United States used inflammatory...
Oh, stop that. You said that 40 times. That was not a quote that was taken
It's
from
one
a
of the
racist.
most infamous quotes in America.
It is
know
not.
it,
I
and
never
I
even
know it.
heard it before. I've been in law enforcement for 20 years, Piers. I wouldn't have known where that came from.
Where did he get it from,
What a bunch
then?
of garbage.
Where did he get it
What a
from?
bunch of garbage you're spewing.
Where did he get it from?
It happens to be factually correct, no matter who it came from. If you start looting, people are going to start shooting.
Right.
They're going to kill people.
So,
and they have killed people, and you don't cover it.
Right, so you, just to
Because
clarify...
you're a bunch of phonies.
Oh,
That's
really?
why.
You know what,
And
Rudy?
I am fed up with you.
Rudy,
You
what
are
happened to you?
professionally unethical.
What happened to you, Rudy?
Nothing happened to me.
You used to be
Nothing
one of the most revered people in America.
Lie and distort.
Yeah, let me just tell you
You
something.
are disgraceful.
You know what,
You're
Rudy?
disgraceful.
You know what, Rudy? You used to be one of the most respected and revered people in America, if not the world. You were someone we looked up to.
Oh,
Somebody who stood for fairness.
Who wants to listen to you, Piers? I mean, really, I am. You can say anything you want because I have no respect for you. The way you're covering this and this nonsense about the fact that a man you know, and you know he's not a racist, that he went and borrowed that deliberately from a guy who said it 30 years ago.
He should never have said it. And you should be big enough to admit he should never have said it. That's the problem. You're so wound up with supporting Trump, you can't see the wood for the trees.
Misinterpreted him. You misinterpreted him on purpose to create.
I quoted him from his own tweet. What are you talking about?
Well, the question is, did he know that came from some racist 30 years ago? Well, he didn't know that.
I don't care if he knew it or not.
The only reason you don't accept that.
I don't care if he knew it or not. Why the hell was he using such inflammatory language?
It isn't inflammatory. It's accurate.
When the
You're telling protesters you're going to shoot them.
It is an accurate warning. And
Right.
it actually happened. People have been killed by the looters, including an innocent man last night who was guarding his friend's store, who was African-American, and his life matters too.
Why is President Trump... Why is he not...
Because it doesn't fit your narrative.
Why is
you
President...
even report on that man being killed.
Why has President
because
Trump...
you don't care about him because it doesn't fit your false narrative.
Why has President Trump...
What happened to me is the same thing that always happened to me. I happen to be in favor of truth and justice.
Really?
And you people are in favor of a phony political narrative.
Really? You know what, Rudy, I'm sorry, but
the interview is over as far as I'm concerned.
You sound completely barking mad. Do you know that?
No, I don't.